Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ τον Υπουργό κύριο Ανατολόπουλο. Και τώρα περνάμε στον επόμενο μιλητή μας, τον πρέσβη του Ισραήλ, τον κύριο Arye, ο οποίος θα μιλήσει για τις Ισραηλινές σχέσεις, αλλά προτού τον καλέσω στο βήμα, θα ήθελα να διαβάσω λίγο ένα σύντομο βιογραφικό του. Ο κύριος Arye είναι ένας πολύ πεπειραμένος διπλωμάτης με μακρόχρονη επαγγελματική καριέρα στους τομείς της δημοσιογραφία και της διπλωματίας. Ο πρέσβης του Ισραήλ ξεκίνησε την καριέρα του ως δημοσιογράφος το 1967 και εργάστηκε διαδοτικά για περίπου 20 χρόνια ως στρατιωτικός και πολιτικός συντάκτης για τη ραδιοφωνία των Ισραηλινών ενόπλων δυνάμεων στο Τελαβίβ, ως αρχισυντάκτης και πολιτικός ανταποκριτής της Ισραηλινής κρατικής ραδιοφωνίας All Israel στην Ιερουσαλήμ και ως ανταποκριτής της Ισραηλινής κρατικής ραδιοφωνίας στις Ηνωμένες Πολιτείες. Διετέλεσε εκπρόσωπος του Εβραϊκού Πρακτορείου στο Ohio των Ηνωμένων Πολιτειών. Επιπρόσθετα, ο πρέσβης διετέλεσε και γενικός διευθυντής της αρχής ραδιοτηλεόρασης του Ισραήλ. Ο κ. Μέkel εντάχθηκε στο Ισραηλινό Υπουργείο Εξωτερικών το 1984 στη θέση του υψηλόβαθμου ερευνητή. Υπήρξε σύμβουλος του πρώην Υπουργού Εξωτερικών και Πρωθυπουργού του Ισραήλ, γενικός πρόξενος του Ισραήλ στη ΣΥΠΑ, επιτετραμένος του Ισραήλ στη Νότια Κορέα και σύμβουλος του Υπουργού Εξωτερικών για την καταπολέμηση του αντισημιτισμού. Υπήρξε επίσης αναπληρωτής μόνιμος εκπρόσωπος του Ισραήλ στον ΟΗΕ, πρόξενος του Ισραήλ στη Νέα Υόρκη, επικεφαλής της διεύθυνσης του τμήματος ΜΜΕ και εκπρόσωπος του Υπουργείου Εξωτερικών του Ισραήλ πριν διοριστεί πρέσβης του Ισραήλ στην Ελλάδα.
Chairman, distinguished guests, I want to address two issues today. First, I'll talk a little bit about Israel, and then I will address the issue of Israeli and Greek relations. Everybody knows that Israel is a small country, but not everybody realizes how small. Israel is 1/8 the size of Greece, although as far as population we now have about 7.5 million people, of which about 6 million are Jews and about 1.5 million are Arabs, citizens of the State of Israel. Compared to the United States, Israel is as large as the state of New Jersey, which is number 48 in the Union as far as its size. I'm indicating all of this so people know how small we are. In some parts, our width is about 10 to 12 kilometers. That's all. On the other hand, there are 22 Arab countries in the Middle East. 22, you can count them if you want. And sometimes the world media or even some countries see everything upside down and try to portray Israel as the guy, the strong guy, the big guy. But we know that this is not the truth. There are 22 Arab countries, one Jewish country. As we know, Israel has been around for 63 years now. We were established in 1948, but of course, we are the sons and daughters of the ancient Hebrew nation that is well described in the Bible, that we all believe in. And just like Greece, we are part of an ancient history of several thousand years. In fact, there is some good historic evidence of contacts between the Jewish prophets of thousands of years ago and the ancient Greek philosophers of that time. Already there was some contact and some mutual influence. Today, we were able to bring Jews from more than 120 countries. We are very proud of our achievements. We were able to, again, rejuvenate our ancient language, Hebrew, which for 2,000 years we did not speak. We only knew it and used it for prayer purposes, but not for daily conversation, and we were able to increase our population from about 650,000 Jews to about 6 million Jews. We see this as a very great achievement. Of course, we were never welcomed by our neighbors. Therefore, we had to develop very significant defense capabilities, and we were very fortunate to be able to develop such capabilities which we need to this very day. Our economy is sound. The international financial crisis did not affect us in a very major way, and we were fortunate to have this situation. The reason is that some years ago we were able to develop a very strong high-tech capability. Our companies operate all over the world. You may be surprised that on the NASDAQ list in New York City, Israel has more companies listed on NASDAQ than anybody else after the United States and Canada, which is certainly a big achievement for a country the size of New Jersey. In any case, this is what we are. We have one problem. We would like to live in peace with all our neighbors. We have had some successes, as you know, over the years. We have a peace agreement with Egypt. We have a peace agreement with Jordan. And we have made serious efforts to also have a peace agreement or some agreements with our neighbors, the Palestinians. We believe that we were very close to solving the problem in 1993 when we recognized Yasser Arafat, who was an arch enemy of us for many years. We enabled him to return, to come to Gaza and to the West Bank and to establish his Palestinian Authority. We believe that we are on the right track. Unfortunately, things got off track during those years. And we had several rounds of terror operations by the Palestinians against us. Today we see another serious attempt by the Palestinians not to speak to us. We say a very simple thing. We want to solve the problems. We are ready to establish a Palestinian state. We are ready to accept. We have accepted by all governments, including the current government of Prime Minister Netanyahu. We accepted what is called the two-state solution, namely that there will be two states living side by side in peace. One will be a Palestinian state, and the other one, the Jewish state, Israel, the state of the Jews. We believe that the only way to achieve that is to sit down together by the table and discuss all the issues. Nothing is off the table. Everything could be brought up, and we can, at that time, we believe, solve the problems, because everybody knows what the issues are. We've been talking about them for decades, and we hope to be able to solve them. Unfortunately, the current Palestinian leadership does not accept the solution. Instead, they went to the United Nations recently, and they have asked the United Nations to accept the fact that they give them basically the statehood without them having to speak to Israel. We believe that this is the wrong approach. They cannot do this actually, because the way according to the rules of the United Nations, only the Security Council can approve such a move. This will not happen, as President Obama declared recently very clear that if necessary, he will veto such a move. But even there might not be a necessity for a veto, because in the Security Council you need 9 votes out of 15, 2/3 to pass any resolution, and it's very doubtful that there will be 9 votes in favor. In any case, we call upon our Palestinian neighbors to sit down with us anybody should that wants to reach an agreement and discuss the situation. We believe that we can reach agreements on all the issues. We know what they are. There are the refugees, there are Jerusalem, there are borders, there are security. There are serious issues. We don't take it lightly. However, we believe that we can solve them if we sit down together and discuss it. So this, I said all of that so that our policy is clear to everybody. And now I would like to say a few words about the relationship between Greece and Israel. As we know, Greece and Israel are almost neighbors. Only the sea divides us, so to speak, and it would have been natural for these two countries to be in a close relationship for many years. I said before about the connection, I spoke before about the connection between our civilizations thousands of years ago. In fact, you would be surprised to hear that our scriptures say that there are only two holy languages in which we are allowed to write the Torah, the holy scribes. And which are these two holy languages according to the Jewish scriptures? They are Hebrew and Greek. We can write our Torah in Greek. I didn't know it until the Patriarch of Jerusalem told me this. And then I checked with some rabbis to make sure that there's an agreement about this, but there is. So you would think that the relationship would be very close, not just about ancient history, but also in real terms. Unfortunately, this was not the case for many years. In fact, full diplomatic relations were established between Greece and Israel only 20 years ago, when the Prime Minister was Mr. Mitsotakis and the Foreign Minister was Mr. Samaras. In fact, both of them went to Israel at that time and established the full diplomatic relations. However, since then, again, both countries did not take full advantage of these opportunities that opened for both of us, and still the relationship was not as warm as it should have been, given the fact that we are neighbors and we share our values. We can see now that the Middle East is so volatile and so unpredictable. We can see which are the two stable democracies in this region. And these two stable democracies, with all problems that we face, and you face right now, but still there are two stable democracies, and they are called Israel and Greece. And this is now very clear compared to the very volatile, unpredictable and unknown situation in many countries in the region. I must say that to our great satisfaction, the last year or the last 15 months have seen a very significant improvement of the relationship between Israel and Greece. And at this time, I think we can speak of these two countries as friends. What we have seen during these 15 months or so were, first of all, mutual visits of top leaders. In July of 2010, we had a visit by Prime Minister Oktωβρίου. In August of 2010, you had here a visit of Prime Minister Netanyahu. Just recently, we had a visit of President Papoulias, and also we saw this year visits of the Greek Defense Minister, Mr. Mekel, the Minister of Tourism, the Minister of Agriculture, and other ministers. We also saw here from Israel a visit of the Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Lieberman, and a visit of the Minister of Tourism. I expect in the coming month to have a state visit of President Shimon Peres to reciprocate the visit of President Papoulias. We expect to have the government-to-government meeting in Jerusalem of the two prime ministers and a number of ministers on each side. We also expect to have another visit by Prime Minister Netanyahu next year, and other such developments. Visits are important because they force each side to prepare, they bring with them agreements and discussions, and there's a follow-up, and there's also a certain echo in the media and in public opinion, which is very important. What are those areas of cooperation that we are establishing and have established? There are a number of areas. Certainly I agree with those speakers before me who indicated the importance of the strategic and defense relations between Israel and Greece. We are satisfied with the progress that we are making in this area, and both countries are satisfied, and we intend to make even more progress in that area. We are also making some progress in the economic spheres. This year we hope to have until the end of the year in Greece about 500,000 tourists from Israel. This is already a significant number. In some places like Rhodes, Israeli tourists are number one as far as the numbers, and we are very gratified that this is happening, that so many Israelis choose Greece as the country where they like to vacation. Greek culture is very popular in Israel, Greek music is very popular, and Greek food, and so on and so forth. We are also trying to establish other economic agreements, and I will not go into all the details, but we are talking about water management, waste management, agriculture, and other areas. I mentioned public opinion. We are very interested. This relationship has to be with the Greek people as a whole, and all its representatives in Parliament and elsewhere. We see a great improvement in public opinion in Greece towards Israel. Until last year, maybe, usually articles about Israel in the press were quite critical. This has changed in the last year because I think that more and more people here understand and are interested in a strong relationship between these two democracies. Some of the speakers mentioned Cyprus, and indeed we have now a very close relationship with Cyprus, who is even, of course, closer to us than Greece. I mean, I'm talking about distances. And indeed, there is a lot of logic in this triumvirate, if you want, of this triangle of Israel, Greece, and Cyprus. We can certainly work together, and there are many interests that all of us share. And we have had a visit recently of the President of Cyprus. We are very gratified with the progress that we are making in this regard. I heard with much interest what my predecessor said about Turkey and other developments. I cannot comment on that because I'm not the ambassador to Ankara, I'm the ambassador to Athens, but it's always interesting to hear people that are so knowledgeable how they describe the situation. To sum up, the relationship between Israel and Greece is now very strong. We want it to continue and be like that with this government, with the opposition parties, with the people of Greece as a whole.